So up until this point, we have just been using Deadline on a single computer, which might be useful, but that's probably not why you want to use Deadline. You want to use Deadline to create your own render farm. So we are going to go through the steps of installing it on another computer and getting some distributed rendering set up. If you remember, we have this file browser, which is at the IP address of the computer that's running all the infrastructure right now. It is an important thing to note. If you're going to be using this for anything other than testing, you definitely want to go into your router or firewall and assign static IPs to the computers that you're using. I'm not going to jump into that because it'll be a little bit different for everyone's router. At any rate, let's just go ahead and copy this over to here. And we'll just sign in with admin. So all our installers are here, so I can go ahead and download that. And also go and same thing, download this certificate. We'll let that go. Actually, while that is downloading in the background, a critical piece to getting rendering working on multiple machines is obviously they need access to the assets and the project files that you're working with. And to make our lives easier, it would make sense that the path on one computer is the same as a path on another computer. Easiest way to do this is to have a NAS and just mount the NAS to the same folder or same drive letter on all the computers that we'll be rendering on. But I will assume that we don't have a NAS, so I will share a folder from this computer over here, the yellow one. It doesn't really matter, that computer should just be on most of the time. I have some space on an NVMe drive on here, so I will just create a folder in here and share it out. So I will say new folder, and I'll just call this Deadline Share. So then I can right click on it. I can go to properties, sharing, and say share. And I'm just gonna only allow myself to have access to this. So I will have to enter a username and password if I want to connect to it. So there it is right there. This is the path that you'd use to access it. I will say done. And I will say close. So then if I go // Nate, where is it? Is that what it was? Yeah, Nate Workstation 01. There's the Deadline Share there. So even though this is a drive attached to this computer I'm using right now, I'm still going to right click on it. But let's map the network drive. I'm going to choose P. Say finish. So now we have this folder here. It is mounted as P. I can close that now. While I'm at that, let me just open this up. So I will enter Nate Workstation 01. And I will enter my username and a password, and I'll remember those and say okay. So now I get that folder there as well. So I can map this network drive and map that to P, and there we go. So now these are both mapped to P. And for example, I could do like a new text document here, and there it is. It shows up over there as well. All right. So let's go ahead and open this up, install the client. So I know I said that I wanted to use IP addresses. I'm going to change my mind and see if I can just use their name. So I'm going to open up a command prompt. I'm just going to try to ping this computer's host name. Woohoo, okay. So that worked. I'm just gonna try that and see if that works. Hopefully it does. So just like before, patient, staircase 4433. And we will grab from the downloads that, and we will grab this password again, paste that in there. All right, and let that install. While that is installing, I'm going to just get something set up over here. So I'm going to open up my C4D file, and I'm going to just save project with assets, even though I don't think I have any assets, and navigate to my share. Yeah, just call this Deadline VEO1. And let me just double check that. Change this output path here to the share, Deadline VEO1. Make a new folder in here called render. Hit save and save that. All right, let's go back over to my remote desktop. This is almost finished. Installing. Actually, I will do one other thing. Just like before, I'm gonna open up the Maxon app. I guess I didn't have this installed. Sure, I'll install it. Okay, updated Cinema 4D. I'm going to do the same thing I have done before. So in a command prompt, just go C dash program files, and I'm hitting tab to autocomplete. So if I hit like M and then tab, it'll go through Maxon things and then say command line. Run that, and it's probably going to yell at me. Maybe it won't. Maybe I've already had it set up on this computer, but it should yell at me. Yep. So I'm just gonna, oh no. What was that? All right, something wacky's going on with this. Let's try that one more time. All right. Invalid license. Your face is an invalid license. Oh, I know why. I have that licensed on another computer. Let me free up a license. Okay, cool. So licensing works. It didn't throw me an error, so I can move on. You can tell this one is not my main one with only a 1080 in it. All right, so that's all set up, ready to go. We have this running here. So if I jump back over to my other computer, have all my other jobs here. And now you can see we have my two computers here. So I can go to Cinema 4D. Let's just, sure. Save incremental. Let's increment this up. I'm going to submit to deadline. And say submit. Okay, so that's rendering, and we can take a look at my remote desktop. It has pulled in the render, and so has this computer. Then I can also check out this share, jump into here, render. Yeah, it's funny, my old computer is nowhere close to as fast as my newer one. So what's nice about this too is even though my older computer might not be as fast, if I wanted to, I could disable this worker. Sure. So then whenever it finishes its current task, it won't be queued, and it will just be the other one that goes, so I can keep working on the computer I'm on and then just let that run in the background on that other computer. And if you want to just bring this one back online because you're no longer using it, you can just enable it again. And that's it. That is our own little 2-machine render farm.